Hello everyone and welcome to the Genius at Work first award nomination with Pepe Gaka. And before we start, I would like to tell you a little bit more what is the whole genius thing about. We believe in TL & Co that every person who is able to align their strengths, talents with their dreams and strategies and with their routines and day-to-day tasks, they are actually playing to their inner genius. And a few weeks ago, when I was wandering through the Auckland Wharf with my family, I just stopped and couldn't move anymore. Why? Because we saw this amazing paintings and this humble genius at work, I would say, a man who did them. And I just had to ask all the questions and to understand what is happening. And the funny thing was that my husband was in Sydney a few months ago and he mentioned me about an artist he saw in Sydney doing this art. So today we're bringing to you this talk with this interview with Pepe to share his message, his light, which I can see, and I hope you'll see that as well and get inspired and share with others. Hi, Pepe. It's a pleasure to have you with me today.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Look, for the beginning, Pepe was born in Italy, near Turin in 1985. I'll just give small buy-in introduction, additional about yourself. His dad and his grandfather were painters, and his brother and uncle kind of painters as well. And since being a boy, Pepe had a passion for art and painting. Around the age of 14 up to 20, he wasn't really sure what to do in life. You know, this is normally what happens with a lot of young people when they start asking themselves these two questions: who am I and why am I here? Pepe decided to put his painting and his passion on hold and join the real life, the real reality. And it took him 1 year, which is pretty quick, we'll talk about that a little bit later, to come back to his dream. And he decided that no matter what, I had to realize my dream, which has always been to become a painter and to travel around the globe. And obviously he did, because thanks to that, I could meet him in Auckland. So Pepe, if you could please tell me and everyone who'll be watching a little bit more about the beginning, how it started. When did you understand that you have this passion, that you have a talent?
Well, I always had the passion, as long as I can remember. And it's always something that I really enjoy to do. The process of painting, drawing, sketching. But at the beginning, it was nothing more than a hobby. It was just a good way to spend my time. But then when I was about 14, 13, 14, I started to think, well, this actually could become one day, eventually, could become my job. This would be great if I can make this painting and traveling together, to make it as my job, as my source of income. But like everything, it took me quite some time to get to the point that I was able to make a living out of it. It took me about almost 10 years to get to the point where I could make a living out of it. But eventually, after 10 years, I was able to I was able to do that as a job, and that's what I've done for the last full time for the last 5 years. In Japan first, then in Australia, now in New Zealand, and in a couple of months I'm going to Canada, and then after Canada, the US, and so on.
Okay, great. Thank you. But you know what, why I was inspired? Because look, we have a lot of painters around the world, but of course, first of all, your courage and your bravery and the decision to follow your dream, which was painting and traveling, is amazing, because not everyone does that. And you know how parents probably could tell, like, oh, don't go into that, you won't be maybe famous or something, and you wouldn't have money for your life. But still, but if knowing that in your head and in your heart, you decided, no, I'm going to do this. But what was amazing to me, the way you're delivering, because you're not just this random painter. You actually paint on, and this is what I asked you yesterday and before. There are lots of people on the street and they try to earn their living, but you are different in the way you do your work, the way you inspire people. If you could tell about that, why are you on the street? Why? You could be, painting at home.
Yeah, exactly. So I could actually do my painting in my studio and selling the paintings and make more money. But what I like of busking is that actually I can share my passion. I can share my story. I can share my experience with everyone that is willing to stop and have a chat with me. Uh, Literally anyone. Could be 5 years old kids that wants to become a painter. Could be a teenagers that when I was 14, he wants to do it, but doesn't really know where he should start from. Or it could be like 50, 60 years old man with just the passion, just the hobby of painting. They ask me like what kind of medium should he use, or he asked me like few advices. Yeah, so the sharing is really, it's probably the main reason why I'm still doing it. Again, I could make more money painting like 99% of the painters do in the studio or commission. But then I wouldn't have the human interaction that I have on the street, and that's what that's what I like the most of basking. And I try to do it, and at the same time, I try to do it in a quite professional way. So I try to look professional. I try to, whatever I do, I try to do clean and tidy, and to show that that's my job. It's not just it is a passion, but it's a job too. It's not just a hobby. It's not something that I do when I'm bored.
That's why it's called genius at work, and that's why when I saw you, I thought this is a genius at work, because I could see the professionalism. I could see the way you are dressed and the way you behave, the way the paintings are. They are just incredible, and everyone who will be watching this broadcast, you'll see the paintings of Pepe probably before or after and judge them yourself. And everything there. But what I was amazed with, there is a banner and it states that you don't sell your paintings. So immediately my strategic mind was like, oh, so how does he live, and why doesn't he sell his paintings? So if you could share everything what is behind, because it's incredible.
Yeah, it's a sort of policy that I have. So basically, all the paintings that I create on the street are then, once completed, are donated for charity to all different charitable organizations like Children Hospital, Starship, Lions Club, Rotary Club, Salvation Army, churches, any sort of fundraising for kids with cancer, homeless people, and so on and on. So it's almost like a circle. Like, the people donate me the money, I donate the painting, and then the association, I donate the painting too. They would actually, most of the time, what they do, they auction the paintings off, and they use the money they raise to help people in need. So it is like a circle
of giving.
Of giving and sorry.
And what was, because I checked all your profiles and I did my homework. And I know that the charities you donate to, they keep the painting and just get inspired, either they sell it and then make money and put the money for growth or for helping more children or more poor people. And I saw that recently one of your paintings was sold for $16,000. Is that correct? Do you know about that?
Yeah, 16. That was last year in Sydney. Well, actually, this December. No, this sorry, was this
It
March?
was recently.
March 2015, yeah. So yeah, that painting was sold for $16,000, and that money they used the money to fund a mission they have in the Philippines.
And you know what is incredible, and you said it's your policy, this circle of giving, but it takes, as I mentioned before, courage, but the humble heart as well, and the surrender, because you never know others people you're painting and people are passing by. Some are just passing, some are stopping, asking questions, some are looking and observing, and some of them are donating money for you, but you never know what will be the end result. So there is a lot of surrender. How do you handle that? How do you know that it will be enough for living, you know? Because if I have a passion, if someone who will be watching this, they have a talent for something, and it doesn't have to be painting, it doesn't have to be dancing, it can be, let's say, writing or communication, and they are afraid to go into that because they are unable to surrender, you know what I mean? So if you could share, how did you handle that for yourself, and how does this work?
Well, you have to be positive. You have to stay positive. Doesn't matter what is. You always have to try to see the bright side of everything. So it's not easy. It takes some time to get to the point where it doesn't matter what, everything's gonna be fine. But yeah, you have to get to the point where it doesn't matter what's happened. You still have to be, I wouldn't say happy, but you still have to be serene. You still have to be sort of sure that everything is gonna be okay.
So where does this certainty come from? Because there is a source of, you know, is it from experience?
Like, it come from religion. Like I'm Christian. I'm religious, but could come from a belief, could come from experience. I do think that the religion, it does help a lot, Christian religion. But again, it's like a state of mind. You have to train your, I wouldn't call it positiveness, but you have to sort of train your positivity, train your to see everything from the bright side of.
You know, I know exactly what you're talking about, because in the genius formula, we know that once someone aligns their values, which is your policy, with their talents and with their dreams, there is a special state of being, state of mind, which you just enter in. And I call this a tunnel of fulfillment. Everything is prepared for you, but you just not know that yet. And you have still to discover. And as long as you're wandering there, you just, you know, you do this, you do that, and it appears in your life. And at some point, you just believe and you trust and you surrender. And this is amazing that you did it, you know, by yourself. And another question, another thing which amazed me was the quote, which was also on a banner, and it was from Bible. Could you quote it and tell me the story about what is behind? Why did you pick up that one? And if you could, please.
Yeah, because so the quote is that basically, whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves words is never satisfied. These two is meaningless. So basically, is to let other people understand the reason why I don't sell my paintings. For sure, I could make more money, but more money they're not gonna make me more happy. Which doesn't mean that we don't need money. We do need money to. Even the Bible doesn't say we don't need money. We do need money, but I mean, with money comes power. It comes responsibility. So it's all about the way we use the money. And again, the money is not gonna make us happy. It's the way we use the money can make us happy, can make other people happy. So there is a good way to use money, the bad way to use money. It's all about using the money in the proper way, and not wanting just the money to buy objects or to buy possession, but to use the money for something good, not just for us, even for the people.
So is it about priorities? Is it about what you focus
Yeah,
at? Because as you said, we do need money, and I know a lot of people, they struggle a little bit with this, and especially people who realize their talents, their strengths. Once they know them, they would like to serve others. But on the other hand, they're afraid, okay, how do I charge? What do I charge? Do I charge? If that is a gift, do I charge at all? Maybe I should just give it as a gift. And then it's a little bit unfair because we still have to have a life, which is, your example isn't like fantastic because you did it. It took you some years, but finally you got there. And it's all about focus and priorities. Could you please share maybe the most interesting story from your experience of this 5 years of living your dream and realizing your genius and sharing it with the world? What was the most incredible story with somebody or experience you had on your path?
well, got many different stories. So it's hard to pick up one of them among the many. But I have to say, I'm always surprised by how many people that you wouldn't think they have money. Some of them are homeless people. Some of them they're just extremely poor. Doesn't matter what, they're still gonna come to me and don't make a small donation or come to me, and if it's a really hot day, they're gonna buy a bottle of water for me or an ice cream. And sometimes you can clearly see they're homeless people. So it's quite moving when you see homeless people coming to you and telling you this is an ice cream for you because today is a hot day.
Wow.
And that happened a lot. It happened really, really often. More often than people will think. That like it's absolutely more common that the homeless people comes to me and gives me buys me an ice cream or a cup of coffee, rather than a CEO of a big company or someone that drives a Ferrari or that drives a Maserati. They will never come to you as to someone, to a stranger, and say, "Oh, this is for you," even though for them it's nothing. I mean, rich people, like when people is extremely rich, they could give me $1,000. For them, it's nothing. But still, for homeless people, $5, it's
Yes,
a lot.
sometimes it's everything they have.
But I never met any. Never happened to me that you see a guy that you can see straight away. This is it's a millionaire, or he makes $200,000 per month, coming to me and say, even just this is an ice cream or good job. They just don't do it. While poor people, homeless people, humble people, they do it a lot. So that's one of the most surprising things.
Wow. So why do you think, what is the reasoning behind? Did you see what are your thoughts on this? What is the reason?
I guess because some people, they get used to think of themselves, they are better than others. Or and when you have a lot of money, that comes sort of natural. It becomes easier to think that if you have a lot of money, you deserve the money. It's all your merit. It's no one helped you to get to that point. You did everything by yourself. Why it's not true? We can't do anything by ourselves. We always need someone else's help. Doesn't
Yes.
matter family. Doesn't matter if it's God. Doesn't matter. By ourselves, we can't really do anything. There's always, even if we don't realize it, there's always someone behind us helping us. And you can call it luck, you can call it destiny, you can call it God, you can call it family. But everything we have is thanks to someone else. It's not thanks to us.
And
And I guess homeless people and poor people, they realize that. So whatever they have, they know that's it's being given to them. It's not that they deserve it.
that is so true. And again, incredible that you know this, because in the Genius Formula, we actually teach people how to find their guiding spirit. Because part of the genius, it's your talents, your dreams, but guided by the spirit. So it's on the co-creation process of what you're here to deliver. So as an end result, you can never say, I did it, because you didn't do it by yourself. You can never say, this is just my painting, or this is my program, or this is my idea, because I know it was given to me. So it makes people humble, and with humbleness and surrender, there comes a power not known to those who never had it. Don't you think so?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And another thing is a peace of mind, and just you know, the state and what we have on the faces of people who are fulfilled. Because I met a lot of people, as you are saying, you poor and homeless people are coming to you, and not those others. And we're not saying that those are good and those are bad, because we don't know, and we are not here to judge. But this is what is happening. This is what we are experiencing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what are you working at right now? What are your, what do you love painting right now? What are your favorites?
I'm working now on a painting about Samson, so from the Bible.
Yes.
And the next one actually will be the painting for of Joseph, son of Jacob, of Joseph of Egypt, son of Jacob, which hopefully in about 2 weeks' time will be finished, completed.
Okay, wonderful. But just from your, I'm asking, what are your favorite? Those are biblical stories are your favorite at the moment? You enjoy painting them the most?
Yes, they are. Yeah. So most of my paintings are biblical, from the Bible, from the Old Testament, or from the New Testament.
Okay. So if I would ask you, Pepe, what is your message to the world? Why are you here? What are you delivering? A part of paintings, because obviously you're doing that.
I'm not sure if I know it myself. I just try to sort of inspire people that whatever they have a passion, to just go for it. Don't listen to anyone. I mean, listen to everyone, but at the same time, make up your mind. Be stubborn, but sounds weird. Listen to people, but at the same time, don't listen to people when they just criticize you. When they say you're never gonna do it, it's never gonna happen, you're never gonna make a living out of it. Don't listen to them. Just, if you really like something, just go for that, and be patient, because everything takes time. It's nothing's gonna happen in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day, so everything takes time. Patience, and just, you have ups and downs, but just never give up. As long as you know what's your goal, and as long as you know your goal is a good one, just go for it.
But this gives us, somebody will be watching this, and then they go, but how did you find your goal? How did you know it's a good one? Where does the certainty come from?
Well, just keep thinking about it, and if you keep thinking about it every day, at one point, if it's a bad idea, at one point you just sort of forget it, or you get rid of it. But if that idea keeps sticking in your mind, that's probably a good idea, or that's probably a good project. That's probably what you really want. Yeah, you have to keep thinking about it. You can't really. Things happen because you work for them. So even a thought, an idea, you have to work for that. You have to keep thinking every day. Is that a good idea? Should I go to college? Should I not? Should I start playing piano? Should I keep playing piano? But you have to think about it, and then at one point you have to make some decision. You can't just keep thinking about it without making decision, or letting other people deciding for you. So keep thinking about it, and then at one point make a decision.
Okay.
It's better to make a decision than not to make a decision. So
yes, even if it's a wrong one. I once read a quote which said that just make a decision. If you need to quit something, quit it. If it's yours, it will come back. If it's not yours, the sooner you quit, the better for you. And it goes both ways. Just sometimes give yourself time, make a decision after that time, and have a look and trust yourself. And if it's a good decision, then bravo, move forward. If it's a bad one, then it was a lesson. Now you know this is not the way, and try another way until you're just there. Just another one of the almost last questions wandering around my head. I asked you about the greatest experience, but what about lessons? Like lessons you've learned on your way, maybe milestones, maybe something what really influenced you, and you just keep it in your mind and in your heart. Could you share those, please?
Well, you have to prepare yourself and to know that almost anything goes as planned every time. Every time nothing goes as planned most of the time. So you have to prepare yourself even for that, so that when nothing goes as you plan, you already knew it. So you don't have to, let's say, to get depressed or get things didn't work out this time. So it's almost like if you go for an audition, you don't have to expect to pass it. You have to go there with the maximum confidence you can, but you don't have to expect to pass it. If you pass it, that's great. If you don't pass it, it's almost like you knew wasn't going to happen. You just have to keep working on that. Don't give up. Keep working. But like a failure is not a bad thing. You have to keep in your mind that failures they're always going to happen. It's almost like you have to plan them in advance. You have to know it's going to happen. But at one point, things will go better. But again, it's just a matter of time and persistence.
And again, it's wonderful what you are saying to me, because I'm observing this with people, working with people who are in the genius process with myself and with other trainers, and I'm observing my life, and this is funny, but always when you're guided, always when you surrender, almost never things go according to your plan. That's why there is another thing to learn. How do I plan together with my inner genius? How do we co-plan? How do we do this together? So at some point, we just become this instrument of light, and we share the light. And yes, is that correct? Did I got it right? What you were trying to say?
Yeah. So it's, I lost the audio for a second.
Okay. So what is the future for Pepe? Where do you see yourself in 5-10 years? What is the vision?
My vision, in about 5-10 years, my vision is keep doing what I'm doing. So traveling and painting. I may in the future start doing a little bit less basking and a little bit more. I'd like to find a way to involve youth into art, involve young people into painting. I still just haven't quite found a way to do it. But I know I'm gonna keep working on that, and I know that in about 5 years' time, I'm probably gonna be there. Find a way to involve people. It could be art classes. I used to do art classes, but I want to do everything on a large scale. Try to reach not just 10 people, but I want to try to reach 10,000 people, 100,000 people. So yeah, that's my.
You never know. Look, if somebody is watching this and you have the same dream, like you also dream to get youth involved into art, into paintings, here is Pepe. You can partner together and maybe create something amazing. And you never know where the journey takes us. You never know why we meet some people on the street. We never know why we meet some people in the offices and classrooms. There is someone always for some reason in our lives, and we have to uncover the reason. Look, Pepe, thank you so much. If I didn't ask you something, what you would love to add, then please, now it's time. If you have any other comments, please.
I think it was a good chat. I think it was a good chat. So I think we covered pretty much everything. But worst case scenario, we can have another chat another time if we forgot something.
Yes. Of course, for sure. We'll be in touch. And look, everyone who is wishing to observe what is Pepe doing, he has this amazing Twitter account at Pepe Gaka, or his Facebook page, or you can go to his website, which is www.pepegaka.com. And if you would love to learn more about uncovering your genius within and learning more about the genius formula, and you can go to the taisjalaudy.com and just read a little bit more about what we are doing. Thank you for time with us. Wishing you all the best, and just live with your dream, follow your passion, and all the best. Get inspired by those who already did it. Thank you, Pepe. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Here I go, feel better now, feel better now.